Page 7. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge. Through merit and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge. Through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge. Through merit from giving and the rest, to aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings ever be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowter, the destroyer, the one law beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowter, the destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shafta clan,
I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge.
To the founder, the endowter, the destroyer, the one law beyond,
the foe destroyer,
the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowter, the destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shafta clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowter, the destroyer, the one God beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings,
to you, the completely and
fully awakened one, the endowter, the
destroyer, the
glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shafta clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for
refuge.
When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then I
prostrate.
With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I
prostrate.
With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not.
Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate.
The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean. To you, the God, to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality. To the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realization, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community attending virtue,
I prostrate.
Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowed with bodies as many as all realms, in all aspects. With supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp,
an illusion, a drop of dew or
a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the foe of false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean,
perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death.
From Tushita's hundreds of gods, protectors, to tip of this fresh, pure, white, heaped curd like cloud, O Loksandhrapa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples. His face ahead on lion throne, lotus and venerable guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit. Feel for my mind of faith, Your wisdom I seize, full range unknowables. Your eloquent speech adores fortune it is. Your beauteous body, fame, glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted 3 vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerts, made life essence full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your dharma kaya sight, pray loose a rain of vast profound dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I here gather bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable Tsongkhapa essential teaching specially shine forever. Mig me se wei chen 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 wei zi, tri me kien pe wang po jam te yam, tu pu ma lu jok se song wei dong, kang chen ke pe sun gen Tsongkhapa, lo sang dra pe shabla so wang dem. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted 3 jewels. Thus have I heard at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Bosha Mountain, together with the great assembly of monks and the great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Vishar, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of profound perfection of wisdom.
Perfectly looking at the emptiness of
Then
characteristics of the 5 arrogance also.
Then through the power of the Buddha, the venerable Shariputra said to the superior Vishar, the Bodhisattva,
The great being.
how should a child of lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Vishar, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound
Perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this.
subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Sharaputra, like this, all phenomena are empty, no characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement.
They have no decrease and no increase.
Therefore, Sharaputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, positional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomena. There is no eye element and so forth up to no mind, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death, and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Sharaputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide the perfection of wisdom.
And because their minds have no obstructions,
They have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra,
the equal to the
an equal mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhiso. Sharaputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Vishara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O Shanta lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Sharaputra, the superior Vishara, the bodhisattva,
the great being, and the entire assembly,
as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode, the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places Dakinis. Chayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiso. Through the power of truth of the exalted three-jewel speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent.
may they be pacified.
All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kyrie
Tsongkhapa,
the 80,000 types of obstructors pacified,
free from adverse
harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being.
here right now.
Sashi Puhi Dukshing Nedom Tramri Rabling Ji Nide Yempanim Sangye Jingdu Mite Sogi Chonama Jam Chupadu Yagi Yapsuchi Dati Chule Kipe Sonam Ki Chola Tenche Samge Drupa Shur Chola Sogi Chonama Jam Chupadu Yagi Yapsuchi Dati Chule Kipe Sonam Ki Chola Tenche Samge Drupa Shur Chola Sogi Chonama Jam Chupadu Yagi Yapsuchi Dati Chule Kipe Sonam Ki Chola Tenche Samge Drupa Shur
Okay. How are you guys? Are you guys karo? Gole lup chadna? Gole lup chadna. You have flat head? Not the chushi the gole lup chadna. The Tibetan they say
Tibetan expression. Flat head.
flat head.
Your head is, you've got so many teachings that
Your head become flat. Because since the last week we have so many teachings going everywhere, every week, every place. Right? Do you have a little bit different today, this week? Anyway, this is nice, you know. We have a lot of different teachings going on, that's good. Still we have this week coming, right? Good. I think we have no excuse to, oh, I don't get any teachings. I think you guys, people get a lot of teachings everywhere. But we have excuse to how they walk, how teaching walk, how Dharma walk. Now sometimes we say, Dharma doesn't walk, puja doesn't walk. People say that. Anyway, teaching or Dharma's walk or not depends for ourselves. You think this too? Like same as the medicine, you know. In order to medicine recover our disease, we have to take the medicine. If we don't take medicine, it doesn't work. Right? Therefore, now we always try to study all the time, every day, just try to come Sundays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Mondays, all that. Go to everywhere, just try. But we don't feel any different. Do you feel a bit different? Are you something different person? Like example, we have some big box, like a big box like this. We don't know under we have the hole or nothing. Just we save some money there. We every day just put $1. We never see inside. We hope they will save it, but maybe ink under their hole, they go to down there. They never, we call save inside that. There goes, the hole. It's like for us also teaching also something like that, right? We receive so many teachings, we try to study so many different things, just we don't much feeling. Yeah, oh yeah, that, yeah. Sometimes also we say Tibetan called chupa chugumatsu. I don't know. The practitioner is not chupa chugumatsu. The chupa chupentomat. Chupa chupentomat. And then mark the mark.
not benefited by
Dharma. It's not make sense, right? I don't know. Maybe if your person shows I'm the practitioner, it's not doing practitioner, then the Dharma doesn't work for them. Maybe like that. Otherwise, the practitioner doesn't benefit Dharma, much makes sense. Therefore, we have the luck. It shows we are the practitioner person. Right? Someone says, you are not practitioner. No, I did. I did 10 years, 20 years of study. But doesn't much change for our mind. Anyway, whenever the teaching we have, 3 faults. Remember? What are they? Upside down vase, the whole vase, the dirty one, right? Then how you put ourselves? The upside down, we just stay there. No upside down. Oh yeah, you can say upside down, you stay there. But your mind just going to, okay, did I done that? Did I do that? Did I talk that? You just think about all that, your own. Did I leave my key on the same place? Did I knock on something? Your body is here, that your mind go to a different way. Then teaching doesn't go inside your body. Then you come here just try to listen, try to be serious. Then your mindfulness doesn't hold. Mindfulness? This is the, here the whole. You put the water doesn't stay there like the same. Same as, when we stay here, but you heard that time, maybe you understand that time, you say, wow, this makes a big mess. But you didn't, your mindfulness doesn't keep them, then it doesn't work. The another one, as you are not like that, but sometimes this happens. People say, okay, what they're going to talk. Yeah, that's not correct. That's not right way. Or he doesn't know. These people do it, people will think that. Your motivation is, different. You're not just taught to, can maybe find some one. You're allowed to that. You don't say, you're not allowed to that, You can do that. If you're really practicing a person, then you need good motivation. Otherwise, you can listen, whatever you like, you can check, that you're allowed to check. But you're really practicing a person, then your motivation is good. Otherwise, different motivation, that doesn't work inside. Like, we have very delicious, juice, alcohol, or milk, or something, food, juice, something. Very delicious. You put some dirty cup, it doesn't wash. Then after the I didn't wash that, now I cannot use. Because the inside already dirty. That, motivation is not correct, the Dharma doesn't work. Like that. Usually now they say you need to also try to not any kind of that. They always say, you always, if you're practitioner, you always think I'm the sick person. The Dharma is medicine. The who explaining for Dharma is the doctor. It's work for you. Do we sick? How many diseases we have? 400. I think 84,000. We have 84,000 diseases. Therefore, Buddha teaching 84,000 different teachings. Each teaching also, what do you call it? Editor of the disease. The disease is the delusions. Like that, okay? He said, I'm a very healthy person. We are not very healthy. We are always sick. Attachment, angry, jealous, they all come here. Anyway, then all the problems, now you are ready, they come from the delusion. The delusion is the ignorant. Ignorant is unknowing. Do you guys know everything? You sure? He said, we know everything, right? But the Buddhism says you don't know. Because you mistake, if you mistake, you get some punishment. Like that. Then unknowing, delusion, maripa. Those kinds very bad, subjection. Subjection? Subjection? Subjection. Do we have very strong subjection? Or it's me or my? We are only two. Me first, then my. Me first or my first? Which one? Me first, right? Then my. Therefore, this is exactly, before you guys heard that, the Dharmakirti, he already explained. First we have what kind of mind manifest, or rise? It's me. Then you say, okay, my family, my relative, my house, my car. Each atoms we have belongs to us. We put our mind, put it there. Do you think, if anything you know, you remember, do you know how many shoes you have? You don't remember? Yeah, if you don't know, maybe you didn't put your mind there. How many, maybe you know how many money you have. The bank. Any dollar per you put that. We, not just you, we put our mind put that. Okay. Whatever we are most to touch, more grasp, we have more, we put our mind there. It's true? It's clear, right? Therefore, if someone harms there, then we will get very easily mad. If you don't have, maybe you have so many shoes, someone take your shoes, you don't care. I don't know why my shoes are lost. But you have so many. Or maybe you already use, your fingers already finished. Like me, when I got some new things, I feel strong attachment. Then, maybe 1 year, maybe a couple months, then I don't care where are they, like that. For anyone, this is, sometimes we can just check. I'm sometimes like check, Okay, like maybe I have like 3 things here. This is my iPad, iPhone, iWatch. No, this is not iWatch. no, this is how you call it? Feel bad. Anyway, I can check, okay, which one I have more strong attachment. If you check that, which one is more new or that you have more attachment there. For different person, different, Like that. Therefore, we put everything. If you remember something, you mind or you put I already there. So many we have bodyguards or secret service, or protection, how you say? Police. We put police there, okay, mind there, everywhere, every corner we put. Right? Therefore, we need to a little bit soft, because we are very strong to subjection. It causes a lot of problems. Right? This thing we have to thinking. It's really Nagarjuna's teaching. It's also when we talk about this book, also they talk about always pour some water for our delusions, ignorance, subjection, subgrasping. I think I'm thinking, we already have a lot of experience, a lot of, ideas, what's Dharma, what's not Dharma, how to practice. But the problems we don't really put into our practice. Therefore, sometimes, I'm just sometimes checking, okay, I put some couple of items up there. Okay, which one I give up? If someone come to me, give me that, which one I can give? Let's check then. Each one, I don't want to give that, or I don't want to give up that. I have more strong attachment there. If someone's bothered that, then it hurts me, right? You really think, before that you don't have, but you have not much problem, right? Before I have not this one, I'm fine, I don't need. After I get that, I have the one problem. Before I don't have that, it's not necessary the book, I have so many books here. But now I need that. I have another problem. Like when we add something, we have more attachment. But I'm not saying give up everything, okay? You have to keep your things, don't give up, okay? But sometimes you don't use, give the donation place. Otherwise we keep so many things, right? Sometimes I've tried to, last year when I go back to India, I take 2 bags. I have so many jackets, people give me jacket, the good things, I don't wear the pen. People doesn't give me pen. What people give me, always, rain jackets, and then some coats, and something. I have so many. I always save that in my closet. I never use it. I took last year for give the monks. Like that, sometimes we don't use, keep that, just keep your house too many things. Just give up then, less attachment. Okay? These main things. Then try to something, a little bit meditation for emptiness. If you really understand the emptiness, sometimes emptiness is not difficult, You say emptiness, oh, what emptiness. If you really think of it, it's not too far away. But you think the wrong way, it's very far away. Emptiness, oh, it's too much. It's nothing very far away, if you really think it right way. Like that, okay? Today is the time, kanji, tananga to share me now, so much.
And so you should think or contemplate on emptiness, just like it is said in the Heart Sutra.
And
so the Heart Sutra is a text basically established on emptiness. And so, usually the thought grasping at the true existence and grasping at the self-existence, and those are the kind of thought or mind that causes harm to us. So just like I mentioned earlier, how much attachment we have towards such and such thing. If somebody causes harm to that, the thing that we are more attached to, we feel more upset, or we feel much angry towards people who cause harm to them. So when you talk about emptiness, doesn't mean nothingness or non-existence. Or when we talk about selflessness, doesn't mean there's no self at all. So for example, we know Marian exists, right? So if you say Marian doesn't exist, then people will think you are crazy, right?
She's here, she's worked very hard. She tried to put everything together, right? I say, I'm holding the cup. I said, the cup's not exist.
So if I say that, then people will laugh at you, right? Laugh at me, because I'm holding the cup and I say there's no cup. So that's what we should not be mistaken, to the emptiness as non-existent. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist, but it doesn't exist in a way it appears to us. So it doesn't exist independently. It doesn't exist from its own side or by its own power. So it depends on something else. It exists through dependence on something else. So when we say no, it doesn't exist or is empty. That's what we should understand. It's empty of existing from its own side, empty of existing through its own power.
And Nazu sama naji mares, tema naji mares, Nazu sama shawana yo marsalakuris.
So it doesn't exist the way it appears to us. It doesn't exist the way we think about it. How we think it exists, it doesn't exist in that way.
Yena te ngarasu kari nagayo to Nazu musin pe kalakawires.
But it's very difficult to identify what appears to us, how it appears to us. How it appears to us, identifying that is very, very, very difficult.
Okay? So
let's go through this text now in praise of dependent origination. And so the best reasoning to establish the lack of inherent existence is through the dependent origination. So there's no existing from its own side because it is dependent origination. Yeah? So it does exist, but doesn't exist from its own side or by its own power. So when we talk about dependence, right? What is that? Dependence and? No. So this thing, right? There's this thing and then this thing depending on something. It depends on that, and this is depending and depender? Dependent? Dependent and depending?
Same?
The table is dependent.
So
Independent.
Table depends on the name, let's say. Table depends on the name, right? And then table is what?
Oh, yeah, we don't really have.
So anyway, the basis and to which it depends. So there's this relationship between these two, right? The basis and to which it depends.
Okay.
So that's very easy to understand, right?
Okay.
The thing, the object or basis or the object, and to something that it depends for its existence. So like when we talk about mother, right? Someone is called mother. So it depends on mother depends on what? So that easy to understand, right? Yeah, that when it says, oh, it's someone's mother, that means she has a child, right? And so that's easy to understand. That's true, right? That's true that mother depends on a child. So everything in that sense is dependent. Yeah? So like when we talk about good and bad, or something we like and something we don't like, or something that's tall and something that's short, and good and bad. All this, everything is dependent on one another. Therefore, there isn't anything that doesn't depend on others.
Okay?
So what are we trying to do with all these examples and explanation is that we have this grasping at the self, at the I, or the ego, and that is causing so much harm to us, from the way we grasp it, right? And so now we're trying to see how it really exists, and try to not grasp the way we think it exists.
Sorry.
So my choking or coughing is is also dependent on cause and condition, right? It doesn't happen without cause and condition.
Some bugs go to my throat. Bugs, some itchy in my throat. Sometimes in India, India you just walk like that. Sometimes the mosquitoes go around. Yeah, it's really happened. Okay, then the talk has on the sholoka. Okay, then the talk on the Raji to Maris, Matava in the 10 days at the Lakota, 10 days at the Raji Matava Drivata, Ripayona, 10 days, repeat about 10 days on the Lauros.
And so, anyway, we're talking about not existing inherently, or not existing from its own side, because it is dependent origination, right? And so, dependent origination is the best reasoning, it's the king of the reasoning to prove the lack of inherent existence.
다 가서도 쇼로가 고와다 주원이 갈라든다 산지 좀 된데 지금 가디나 심배가 삼바탄데 되게 제가 편하게 쳐대야 아니 다 때문에 뭐 동반이 사실 가서요 그래서 옛날야 대야 뭐 합은 먹어도서 아니 가시가 가위가 따다 가시가 아니 마트비 됐어 같이 들어 something that 또 야뭐 콘트 쳐가 말해서 콘 맞지 말해서
the verse 9 and 10 says that Buddha Shakyamuni, always thinking of benefiting other sentient beings, has taught this, in order to benefit others. But some people, with the lack of wisdom, doesn't understand this, and they see this as a contradictory.
근데 이제 간터로 안에 연하라는 저거를 랑문은 매도거래스. 랑문 맞나 아니지 제가 자신 태그 말해스. 어떤지 그것도 something 그래스.
And so these beings, with the lesser wisdom, thinks that if things exist, then they have to exist from their own side. If they don't exist from their own side, then it doesn't exist at all, and you will not be able to level as something as cause and effect, without existing from its own side.
근데 다른 쇼로가 주직당 주님들 다 냠드나 막 가송으로나 간지 라지지 동화들이 땡주기 된다 아니 산지 좀 되는 거 송바레스 라지 동화 인자 땡주레스 송바레스로.
And so in the verse 11 and 12, Buddha said, anyway, Lama Zopa said Buddha taught dependent origination, to prove the lack of inherent existence.
아니 셴바도 라지 동화에는 대란의 샤시가 나좀 태그 말레스 로드가 나좀 태그 말레스 산지 좀 말에 라지 동화 인자 안드라 샤시 나좀 태그 더 뱃고 그니 로가 자되게레스.
So the others saying that if it doesn't exist from their own side, and if it doesn't exist, if things do not exist from their own side, then they will not be able to function. But here, Lama Tsongkhapa, the Buddha said, because things don't exist from their own side, therefore they are able to function.
다 자와잖아. 근데 다 라지지 동화 땡주고 된다 송바세 되들 많이 met는다. 저로가 주주지 인ям도 실록서가 와서.
Because more
라지지 동화 땡주도 송바세. 라지지 동화 인자 땡주레스.
And so here he explained that because it is empty, empty of inherent existence, therefore it is dependent origin, dependent arising. Because it's dependent arising, therefore it is empty of inherent existence. So let's read these two verses, 11 and 12 together. For you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions do not contradict. Whereas when one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, nor emptiness in what has function, one falls into dreadful abyss, you maintain.
다 얘기 간다 동거는 아니 다 계지다 다 아니 좀다 셴바도 저거 아니 라지지 마트바이나 면도 그래서 연어 라지 저거 그래서 또 그도 개는 그래서.
And so it's saying that other tenets, they said if they don't exist from their own side or from inherently, then it doesn't exist. It will not exist at all. So if it exists, then it has to exist inherently.
그래서 다 계지 아니 내리지 돈을 봐 아니 제바는 남신 라지 동화 아니 딱 내게 봐야 나서로.
And so it says by analyzing on your points, when one come to understand the lack of inherent existence. And so whenever one have realized or seen the lack of inherent existence, then at that time one have seen the dependent origination, the meaning of the dependent origination. So when you see the lack of inherent existence and as the meaning of dependent origination, and then you will also see that there's no contradictory in performing the functions. And so this is very, very important. It can't be comprehended easily.
Right? And the Raji Tonga Kadi Hakoyana and Telatene, Sama Shenjimani, and Raji Tonga Nebala Tene, and Tenjutulushan, Tenjut.
And so when we come to understand the lack of inherent existence, at that time when we will come to understand the dependent origination.
Mando Tenjida, and Tikaro, Tonga Tenjutu Kovada, Tenju Tonga to Cosses, Tenju is a Tonga, Tonga is a Tenju is Tikos.
So just like it is mentioned, like understanding the emptiness as the meaning of the dependent origination, and understanding dependent origination as the meaning of emptiness.
Okay.
Because it is empty, therefore it is dependent origination. Because it's dependent origination, therefore it is empty.
And Tendel Karo, Tendela Teni, and Tomba Bangi. Tomba and Tomba Tobi, no Teniti, that Mepita, Metas.
So through the dependent origination, you come to understand emptiness. And with the understanding of emptiness, you will clear grasping at the extreme of nihilism.
Tendigo Teniti, Rajiji, Menaya, and the Tanya Naja Chazan, Tebade, Temajana, Muguba, and the Tarantabin Jenny.
And so with that, even though things do not exist from their own side or inherently, but it does perform all those functions. Right? So that can be proved without depending on any other valid cognition. And so with that is called like explaining the emptiness for understanding dependent origination.
And Toba killing the travel Toba killing the travel, Kovatini Kakaro, Kodavan, Sanjichana Sanjigani, Gomba, Chanotoyo Maresro.
So just like it is said in the three principles as part of the path, that as long as you still understand the dependent origination and the emptiness as something separate, you haven't understood. You haven't understood the meaning of the reality.
No Raji Toma, no Garota, no Tendeda, Tiga Toma Raji Toma Ita, Chiga, Toy Teddy, John Mishibachi, Kovakaka, so there are no Matoares. That tema Bachi, that Nimachi, and I'm sure Renjo Chichi, the Tended Malone Toma, Toma, the Nishi Chicaro. Nishi in the kitchen at the Teta about Tobalas, Kanji, Toma Tinjuda, Tinju Tomet and the Kunika, Chick children, Javado, and Hakoana, and the Tawich of Tobares.
And so, so whatever appears, to you, you think of that as a dependent origination. And through that, then you come to see that things are empty because it's dependent origination, dependent arising, therefore it is empty. Of existence from your own side. So you understand that way. So when you, as long as you see these two as a separate, then you haven't understood the emptiness. But then when you see this way, all the things that appears to you are dependent arising, and because they are dependent, therefore they are empty of exist from their own side. So when you come to see that, understand the empty and dependent origination as same, and then that time you have completed the understanding of emptiness.
Kare tende tobe tabje rangi me ba tseme karo. Takaro. Tende tobe tabje ane rangi ji me ba tsama jambala tem mugoba ani ba ngishe ran tabje ndena ba kadi shongana ta tayi chaba tobare tayi chaba tobase.
So when you are able to come to understand emptiness through dependent origination, without depending on any other valid cognition, and at that time you have understood the ultimate view.
Kodes, kode, do you understand? Right? Debchiji, demde, ani dema mede tende bashes, tende to be low tela tene, ani chi sama jenje mogoba, ani ta karo, raji to be toa, reni, toa ina, ta tavichava tobares.
And so just saying like this book is, this book doesn't exist truly because it's dependent origination. And so when you understand this book to be leg up through existence, by understanding but through dependent origination and without depending on any other value cognition, then at that time you have understood the correct view.
You understand?
You understand? Understandable?
Okay? That's the corner that you should was. Something another Lord Leno Shadow Mados, another car later than another Lord young doors.
So it's good that you can understand it. For us, it's very difficult to understand, even though it's kind of looks like clear in the word, but to understand the meaning is really difficult.
But that not do some logic down there. And they say to us, better come to us. Danger to don't Tomana, a range in the Tomata session to Pamangawas. Danger is another, and it danger Maimba. Danger and the Kaji, Koran, Maricino, one shot of Maricino called the Delta.
So, just in the text, for you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions do not contradict. Yeah, so when it says dependent origination, that's the meaning dependent. So when it says devoid of intrinsic existence means like existing from its own side, right? So when it means that it doesn't really have the power, right? It's powerless. So it depends on the others. So it cannot exist from by its own power. So we might think that what benefits are there of understanding this? What's the benefit of understanding this, right? So from our mouth, we say things do not exist truly. Things do not exist. But from our mind, we think things exist truly, right? Is that right? So that's why, what we're saying is easy, but what we're thinking is very difficult, right? And so they don't go along. And that's why, because we have that thought, thinking things exist truly, therefore we have attachment to our side and hatred to other side.
Okay? Within that, Tendiga and Raji in the tribute to me, Naja the Yabu, in Tebayana, and then I'm going to the body shoot on. I'm going to shoot Chimana, Raja Chavan, and shot them at the Chun. Mavacha, and do I didn't call the Tawada. I need to Tawata Switch of Komatoria and race.
And so if we understand that, if we understand that things, not just saying that things do not exist truly, but really understand and really feel or think that things do not exist truly, then that way we'll have less attachment towards the one side and a hatred towards those on the other side, one's enemy's side, and that way, when we have lessened these delusions, then that much you'll be closer to liberation or enlightenment.
그래서 인지나 하면 아주 배경이나 배작하시나 라지진의 동화라 샤진 대방만가 와서 니나라 라지진의 동화당 샤진 대방만가 이용도 와서 가진나 라지진의 동화라 샤진 대방가가 말씀하잖아 대고 체였으라고도 와서 그래 저거들이었어.
So here it says, then being devoid of existence and possessing valid functions do not contradict, right? So sometimes in some texts, instead of saying and it says to, right? To the being devoid of existence, the possessing and a valid function do not contradict. To, so when you say to, that may, to sometime, it says to some people or to some at some time, saying that way is more powerful or more effective.
그래서 간지 라지 집에 또와인데 텔라 샤지가 나전 대그리 샤지가 나전 대와인데 라지 동아래 샤지가 나전 대와티 아니 라지 동아 매진데 텔파 거죠 something was.
So it says that to the devoid of intrinsic existence.
시치게 된다. 시치게 된다. 아니 다내 덴바트 동화인 바지. 니나라 진대가 나자 차선 대파다 뭔가 완전 족시거리 족톱거리 좋아요래서.
And so because so to the devoid of intrinsic existence, the things functions properly. Valid functions like things functions properly. So if it doesn't, if it's not devoid of intrinsic existence, or in other words, if it exists from its own side, then it will not function. It will not function properly.
What that Tenley 많이 받지. 다 대외 도반 도만나 동라 샤워 물에다 샤나체라 뒤에 베스 냠이야서 동아지. 단데 뭐 타람에 걸어왔어. 저 대하마고 왔지. 아니 다 대외 도대라나 아니 이거 대바도 와마 오마라제 와매지. 아니 텐데다 라지 동아니 아니 텐데나 라지 마 동아고 라지나 텐데 많이 받고 동아 대니지 라지 동아라 아니 샤지게 나죠. 아니 조금 씹어. 아니 텐데나 아니 가로다 미시베 아니 첸다당 아니 샤지 노자 라지 가로 샤지지 라지지 딱 샤지 남자 간라서 딱 이거 오마 라지바 메치 이거 뭐니 텐데당 라지 동안이 가와 텐데나 라지 마동하고 라지 동나 아니 텐데 마요고 동아디 라지 동아이나 아니 샤지 좀 미시베 아니 첸다당 아니 샤지 자네 라지지 동안 좀 미시베 아니 땅다 동에다 내가 최수 아니 말롱도 그래 세로
그래서 담보디 자제테네
에메다 가로와 텐데당 라지 동안이 가만 돈으로와
그래
텐데다 아나 라지 동아이나 샤지가 나죠 좀 미시바이다 아니 첸다롱도 그래
So then in the verse 12 it says, whereas when one sees the opposite, right? So instead of seeing the dependent origination and as being the devoid of intrinsic and existence, and so the lower schools like the even the like Savadadega Madamika and below also says that things exist from their own side, right? Things exist inherently, and so it says so to them the meaning of the dependent origination is not the devoid of intrinsic existence. It's existing intrinsically or existing from its own side. So that's what there has to be. And so if you take 말을 then 제달롱으로 그러죠.
근데 제달 자신 좀 시나 아니 제달롱으로 그랬어.
제달.
제달.
And so if you
라지 동화 있나 아니 샤지 나전 태그 말했으니까 그 제달롱으로 그랬어. 라지 동화 있나 샤지 나전 태그 말했어.
So if it is and they like the lower school says if it is the devoid of intrinsic existence, then it will not be able to perform function. So then it will fall into the extreme of nihilism.
아니 샤지 나자 자시바이나 아니 라지 동안 좀 시바니 아니 땅다네로 그랬어.
And if they are able to see the things perform the things function properly, but are not able to see them as being devoid of intrinsic existence, then they will fall into the extreme of eternalism. So that way, that's what it means, like one fall into the dreadful abyss you maintain. So if so he says, like, just like, since there can be no function in emptiness, right? So if it is empty, then it will not be able to perform function, right? And then nor emptiness in what has a function. So if it is, if it performs, the function and as the cause and effect, like the cause, producing the effect and effect, depending on the cause, for it to be produced and so forth. So if that is empty, so if that is empty, then it will not be able to perform a function. The cause will not be able to perform the function of producing, and the effect will not be able to perform the function of being, of depending on the cause and so forth. And so that's what it says, that since there can be no function in emptiness, nor an emptiness in what has function, then one fall into the dreadful abyss of these two extremes.
Okay. 아니 강신 땡주 이거 말이 추가해봐 받다 왔다 그러고 뭐를 강신 땡주 마임비 추가해봐 말이 땡는 좀 마임비 추가해요 말이 땡주 인자 아니 동아래스 대신 동아 마임비 추가해봐 말이
So also I think it's Nagarjuna said that there isn't anything that is not dependent. And so because there isn't anything which is not dependent on origination, and therefore everything depends on, therefore everything depends on something, and therefore it is empty, of existence from its own side. So everything, so there isn't anything that is not dependent on origination, and there isn't anything that is not empty, of existence from its own side. So it's not easy to understand right away, but if you apply all these different examples, it makes easier to understand, right? So when it says when one sees the opposite of what, right? So what opposite of what?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where it says in the verse 12, the first line where it says, whereas one sees the opposite of what?
Opposite.
어디? 되게 나왔어요.
When you see that there's a contradiction, the opposite would be the contradiction.
Yes, of course, that's the meaning of the opposite. But opposite of what here?
The contradiction between the fact that that things can function, being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions is not a contradiction.
Yes.
If you saw that as a contradiction, that would be the opposite. If you saw that that they can't function because.
It's good.
동나 제가 가운데 갔어?
걔는 남지 동반이었어. 땡주도는 동반나서. 아니 딱 거래 봐 따지 제와네. 아니 따지 줘라. 간지들 손로 공잡들 제와나. 오늘들 봐 제와이나 아니 라지지 동왕 해봐나. 동화들이 땡주도도 아니 통고래서. 아니 땡주거든 도와이나 안에 라지지 동화다 셔제 나자 대파 라지지 동화데 라지 동화 인자 셔제가 나자 대파니 다 뭔가 와야 돼 내그래서 가가 말해서 다 대리 도바 아니 셔제가 나자 대파이나 아니 동화 나자 대가 말해서 동화이나 셔제가 나자 대가 말 되니 opposite side of
So here, in the verse 11, right, the last two lines, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing the valid function do not contradict, right? So because it is not existing from its own side, because it is dependent origination and not existing from its own side, therefore it's able to perform the function. So that is what we it says. But instead of saying that, it's the opposite of that. Right? So, because it is devoid of intrinsic existence, therefore it does not perform function. So if it is able to perform function, then it has to exist from its own side.
Okay. That's it. Yeah, yes, okay, good. What is it? Digo solo chosunba digalna. Ta sanju chumne diga ni tenju songata. Na pare pemuzme ta ni chomani waje rese ando solo ka chosmi songwa.
And so the verse 13 is like kind of praising, right? It's really amazing, and it has never happened before.
So
let's read that together. Therefore, in your teaching, seeing dependent origination is held, that too not as an order and existence, nor as an intrinsic existence. So if one doesn't see the meaning of dependent origination as empty and the meaning of empty as dependent origination, one will go into a wrong path. If one don't see that, right, one will go into a wrong path. Yeah? But because you explain that, and then you lead the people or lead the disciples in the correct path, and so there's like seeing dependent origination is held. It's like praise, right? So no one has taught this. So you are the only one who taught this. So it's really amazing, for having taught this. What is it? That too, not as an order, non-existence, nor as an intrinsic existence. So there's also explanation, the different explanation about that. So then it says that too, not as an order, non-existent, nor as an intrinsic existence. So when you say order, non-existent, doesn't mean it doesn't exist at all. And so when you say order, non-existent, means like not existing from its own side at all.
Yeah. 간지 단위도 여봐인바 아니 라면이 맞아봐인바 된데 나잖아 대고 그래서 단위도 여봐인바지 아니 라면이 맞아봐인바.
So you see, it has to be something that exists conventionally, yet not from its own side.
근데 라지 맞잖아 아니 매도 그래서나 아니 지지 가려고 아니 천당도 그래서.
So if we say if it doesn't exist from its own side or inherently, then it doesn't exist at all. If you say that, then you are falling into the extreme of nihilism.
아니 라지 연나 라지 저거 그래서나 아니 따다내로 그래서.
And so if you say, if it exists, then it has to exist from its own side, or inherently. Then you're falling into the extreme of eternalism.
오케이? 근데 어떻게 말해서 라지 메세데 요말라고 요말이 메세데 라지 저거 요말이 생각도 라면 되레스.
And so when it says it doesn't exist, doesn't mean it doesn't exist at all. It means doesn't exist from its own side.
다 들리고 연나 라지 저거 그래. 라지 말하는 맨도 올라가는 소리잖아.
And so if it exists, it has to exist from its own side. If it doesn't exist from its own side, it doesn't exist at all. Who says that? Oh?
I don't know, it's a, well, if you're a nihilist, you would say that.
Nihilist.
단다.
Tapa.
오늘 라지 보면 지금 처음 되려 그랬어. 다다 단위별로 시작했는데 단데 빼 원유 타워 그랬어. 단위별로 시작했나? 라지 보면 지금 쳐달라 그랬어.
So because here we're talking about the Pasangiga Madhyamika view, right? So according to all the schools, or every school below Pasangiga Madhyamika school, says that if it exists, it has to exist from its own side. If it doesn't exist from its own side, then it doesn't exist at all.
그래다 배나 들리는데 따온 도중 말할 때마다 선점만 이러고서 또 오면 하기. 따온 도중도 어디? 얘나야 선점이 더마도 바뀌는 거 이러고서.
And so even in the lower school, so here lower school means like lower than Pasangiga Madhyamika school, right? So even including the Savatandika Madhyamika and Chittamatrin. So Chittamatrin and the Savatandika Madhyamika are the highest of the lower schools. Even they, like the Savatandika Madhyamika says things, even though they don't exist, things exist truly, but they say that things exist from their own side. And then Chittamatrin even says that things exist truly.
배나 오마 라지빌라 랑 튕이 들어가서야지 계시고 랑 튕이 들어가서 다니빌라로. 랑 튕이 들어가서야 돼파 파츠와는 녀용시. 근데다 녀용이 들라 안에 랑 튕이 들어가더니 다니 요말 파츠는 녀가 말해서 라지빌라는 녀가 돼서.
So when we talk about something that exists from its own side, so if it exists from its own side, then it has to be found. It has to be findable. You should be able to find it, right? And they both accept that. And whereas the Savatandika Madhyamika school says yes, it can be found. If you look for it, if you search for it, you will be able to find it. But Pasangiga Madhyamika school says no. If you search for it, you will not be able to find it. You will not be able to find it.
오마 라지비 가려고 한다. 추담이 내려오는 처방은 그냥 랑을 주가 요래. 랑은 말은 매로 그래서 그러려고 그랬어. 그래서 거다 다주신다 따다내로 그랬어.
And so Savatandika Madhyamika says that things exist from their own side. Right? If it don't exist from their own, it doesn't exist, then it will not exist at all. And so Chedaluna.
진짜 따다내로 왔어.
Goddess.
근데 랑은 맞잖아. 아니 매로 그래. 그래서 랑은 주가 kelawada 따다내로 그랬어.
And so if it doesn't exist, from its own side, then it doesn't exist at all. Right? So because they accept, the existing from its own side, then they're like kind of, in the extreme of eternalism.
다티바 kelawanda 단지 뭐라지 데마도 kel는 말이야. 데마도 말이라 그랬어.
But the only thing is that in the Savatandika Madhyamika school, they don't accept the true existence. So if you ask them, do the things exist truly, they say no.
아니 단지 따다 고도마도 kel는 고랑도 kel는데 데마도 kel는데 그랬어.
And so according to the Savatandika Pasangiga Madhyamika, it's the same. Because you exist, because you accept things exist from their own side, therefore, you are also accepting that things exist truly.
그 데마도 kel는 데마도 데마트나 여러 탐험을 되는 건데 저거 대처가 말해서 그러라 그랬어.
So the Savatandika Madhyamika schools, way of saying that things do not exist truly is like if it exists truly, then it has to exist from its own side alone. So that doesn't exist. So it has to be from the mind side, and then from the object side also. So it has to exist from both ways, from depending on both. So if it exists only from object side, then that will be existing truly. So that doesn't exist.
다 오마 단지 랑은 저거 말이야. 탐험을 되는 건데 저거 말이 봤더니 니야 이거 말해서 쳐서 또 땄으면 그랬어.
And so, Pasangiga Madhyamika says that it doesn't exist, from its own side at all. From it doesn't exist on the object side alone either. So there's nothing you can find upon searching on it.
다 생존만 두지 마 다는 용어를 듣는 거다 또반 도시대 다 그만하지 말고 그만하지 말고 그랬어.
So this, the mindfulness school also says similar things, but among the lower schools, the highest one is the Savatandika Madhyamika, so even that is defeated like that.
다음은 그렇지 랍죠. 오늘 또봐 가르쳐야래. 또봐 가르쳐야래. 대야 말했어. 로가 가르쳐야래.
And then if there's nothing you can find from object side and it's completely labeled by mind, then can the mind label anything? No, right? You can't label this thing as that or that thing as this.
Okay. 다들 단일이 오고 그랬더라 그래서.
So it has to exist nominally, conventionally.
단일이 팀이 문제가 있고 그러니까 내가 뭐 참이 까임 뭐야 그래서 참이다 까뭐 그랬어. 대다 코 단일이 팀에서 해야 돼. 가지 뭐 참이 통모도 다 돼야 돼. 거기다 다 되게 그러고. 잡아지고 그랬어.
So and it should not contradict with the conventional naming or something like that, because for example when you say cup, this thing is known as a cup, right? So everybody calls it cup, but if you call it something else, then it will be different.
Called book.
So whoever invented it, first, whoever invented the cup, and at that time, say, okay, I'm going to invent this thing, and after this, I'm going to call it cup. So since then, it became cup. So then, why do you call it cup, right? It has a definition. Cup has has a certain shape, certain function, all these things. Because of all these things, then you just you call it cup. You can't just call cup for no reason to something else, right?
Okay. Then
are you able to understand something from here?
You got a little bit? Yes.
I have a question. So you're saying that below the Madhyamaka school, they would think that cup doesn't exist? Say no, it doesn't exist?
No, everybody accepts that they exist. Everybody, the Sama killing it out. They all accept. Nobody says it doesn't exist. They all say it exists. But the way it exists is different. So the way it exists for the lower school. So when we talk about lower school, there's like a Madhyamika school, and even in the Madhyamika school there are two. Savatandika Madhyamika and Prasangika Madhyamika. So the Prasangika Madhyamika is the highest, and then anything below Prasangika Madhyamika school, even including the Savatandika Madhyamika school, says the cup exists, but the way cup exists is from its own side. It exists from its own side. It does exist, but from its own side. And so if it doesn't exist from its own side, then you will not be able to find the object that's called cup. That's what the lower schools says. Lower school says that, and it makes sense, right? If it doesn't exist, then if it exists from one side, then what can you label as a cup? So then, the mindfulness schools, Chitta Martin or mindfulness schools, you know that, right? It's all labeled by mind, right? It's created by mind, not only labeled by mind, but it's created by mind. So it has to be created. So therefore, each mind creates its own object, right? So the cup, that's created by Jennifer is not the cup that's created by Marian. So even though you're both looking at the cup, it's a separate cup. So what she's seeing is not what Jennifer is seeing. Well, we usually say, oh, it's the same cup, and I see that, you see that, she sees that, he sees that. We'll say same cup, right? But each sees different one. Yeah, so like the gompa here, that we're staying in, so is it the same gompa that you sitting? No, according to the mind-only school, so you each have your own gompa, you each have your own.
Your power room, your power place. Okay,
and so it's a little bit, confusing, complicated. So to your question, so it does exist. No one says it doesn't exist. Everybody says it exists, but the way it exists is different.
Okay.
They don't believe that dependent origination is making that up.
Yes, they all accept that. They all accept, but they have different way of explaining about the dependent origination. Yeah, so the lower school mostly says is cause and condition. Because it depends on cause and condition, therefore it's dependent origination. If it doesn't exist in dependent cause and condition, then it's not dependent origination.
Okay? Yes.
But doesn't the Tantrika Madhyamika only believe in conventional essence? Like they don't believe that could withstand ultimate analysis. They don't believe in the ultimate existence of the
Who?
The Tantrika Madhyamika, right? They
근데 그래서 단단히 killing 뭐 나왔어. 근데 그래서 그만한 주박이. 담아도 요 말했어 그래서. The ultimate existence?
they don't believe that it exists ultimately, but they.
단단데마다 고진데 마세요라.
쿠타니
고진데마다 단단데마 요 말했어 그래서.
말마 코텔도 막 kelleng 그랬어.
Yeah, they accept the ultimate truth also.
Wait.
The Savatanda Madhamika? Yes.
대답도 맞아요. 그 저다치 말해. 아니 내순 탐바이다. 달라 대답. 이만 탐바이다. 그냥 밥에서 나왔는지 아니 내 봐도 대답도 말했어. 소소 지원에 나왔는지 맞아봐야다. 아니 가서 좀 말했어. 좀 봐요.
That they don't accept ultimate truth meant that they don't posit an ultimate that it exists from its own side ultimately. Just that conventional.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So Ramon do some the Dulungun do some shaga mara.
델루문을 잡아주고도 대마트 말했어. 도모망에 델루트 와요 말했어. 도모다 코나 주고 로르치는 마다 코나 문도 좀 알고 그래서 코나 대요 말했어.
So I don't know if you're saying that they said that things exist from their one side. Things don't exist truly, but things do exist from their one side. And it's when you say things exist from their one side, not only from their one side, but also exist from their one side. Depends from their one side, and also mind has to label that. The table exists from its one side, and mind label it as a table. So that's how the table had come to existence. And for ordinary people, that's more understandable, right? So it has to be there's something there. It cannot be just mind leveled. That's what Pasangye Madhyamika school says. It's mind only leveled. There's nothing exists from its own side. But our Savatanda Madhyamika school says things exist from their one side and has to be leveled also. But if it exists only from their one side, then that will be existing truly, and that doesn't exist.
Okay. Yes.
So for the way that objects appear, is the appearance dependent on its own causes and conditions, or does it appear that way to us because our mind sees it that way?
그럼 틀려다.
유대소설 나누겠네. 나와서 코로나도 유호랑이 되는 유경을 다는 가서 되는 난겨르기 말한 적이 될라다는 되는 난겨르서.
다 돈다 틀려서.
So according to which school you are saying? Pasangika.
다녀.
다주바.
다 델레 나다가 보지 레 나다가 제사로 근데 강사 소소 나다가 전에 몇 가지를 그냥 짚어 가나 가지라야 두서 나와 가지라 차 나와 가지라 주 나와 뭐 강사 소소 레 나온 게.
So depend on one's karma, how it are going to appear. Like we were talking about the cup of water, appearing as a water to the ordinary human beings, and like a blood and pus to the predators, and a nectar to the gods.
But is my karma giving that cup orange, or is that coming from its own causes and conditions that led to it appearing?
아니 공부 세고 있는 것 같아.
오늘 세부 나야 돼.
세번은 따는 거라.
세부한테 레디 나야 돼. 그래, 그런 레기 그런 게 레기 이제
대대레게 말했어.
레기 이거는 그 그런 거 용어는 거
그런 지정 전에 그 지정 전에. 그런 지정이 전에 근데 내려질라 가서 내려잉이들 가서 세고 봤다 정해 보면 저 뜻이할래야. 레게 말했어. 미간가 세고 지켜서 가지고 너무 못 지나는 건데.
So that one is yes. So that one is because of the cause and condition. You know, it's not it's not only for your because of your karma or only to your perception only. Everybody sees that as orange. Yeah, so that's because of cause and condition. So it has to be something that is the well known to the world. Like this is like well known as orange to the world, and it doesn't contradict to the conventional value cognition. So yeah, of course there is like the example of the water appearing as that's because of one's karma.
Is that the personal phenomena that appears to us due to our karma, and that common phenomena appear because of its own cause and condition?
그래서 the legyong이 나야지 맞아 legyong이 나야지 소소 돈 많이 맞지 아니 다 주게는 된 나야지 근데 도모 와라 했어.
대문이 바인 도로 사실면도.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
In verse 13, when it says, seeing dependent origination is hail, then it goes on, that too not as an utter non-existence, nor as an intrinsic existence. Can I assume from that he's also saying that dependent origination is emptiness, is empty? Yeah.
들렸다네. 죽순 받으라. 들렸다네. 더 동벌은 걸서 된중 거는 동벌했어. 고쇼를 했어.
된중 거는 동벌했어.
Yes, the dependent origination is empty.
Yeah. Okay, because everything is.
Yes.
텔레 땡도 망치는 거지. 내가만 땡도 임베시를 생기 좀. 땡도 망치는 요 말했어.
So there isn't anything, including emptiness, that is not dependent origination.
동아야 땡주리 땡주요 동아랬어.
So yeah, dependent origination is empty. Empty is dependent origination.
동아 땡주다 땡주 또래다 하고 오잖아. 아니 따따위 집어 조아래서 나요.
So when we understand that, then we have understood, the ultimate or the final view.
Yeah, well, it's said in the Heart Sutra, about how everything
Yeah.
is empty, no suffering, no cessation, no.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, yeah.
동아 땡주고 던데. 동아데 땡주 또와라 패도와. 땡주도 동아 또와라 패도와셔나. 아니 가동문이 다 아니 동이 거라 고야 보라 이거 다래서.
So if you understand, emptiness with the help of dependent origination, and understand the dependent origination with the help of emptiness, then you are really understanding it well.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, that question is homework. Do you have homework? How many homeworks? I don't remember. Four. What are they? Maybe I have no answers. Okay, what are the first one? You have, Laura, you have? Or?
No, I have to download it, sorry.
Okay, who? I think she have, Jennifer, you have.
It said that, it described the dependent origination as the heart of the teachings. So the homework question was, what other texts refer to dependent origination as the heart of the teaching?
Oh, yeah. Okay, do you find anyone? What?
Well, in Nagarjuna's fundamental treatise on the middle way, and then also a commentary on that by His Holiness, where he calls dependent origination the slogan of the Buddha, and says if there's no dependent origination, there's no Buddha, or there's no teaching of the Buddha. It's the heart, the core, and the cornerstone of the Buddhist teaching.
Okay, then?
Yeah, I tried to find it in Shantideva.
I think you are so busy. This time I can give you. Any, Bob?
I didn't find anything that said it was the heart of the teaching, but I found places where it said it's taught for liberation. That's the purpose, to do liberation.
Okay.
Which is kind of similar.
Okay. And then you have something? No, it's okay.
Yeah, and His Holiness had a commentary on Atisha's Lamp to the Path, and I said,
댐비니 뭐 많이 들어.
it was a reference, understanding emptiness of inherent existence through realizing that the aggregates, constituents, and sources are not produced as described as wisdom. This reference to the emptiness of inherent existence of all things refers to the ultimate nature of reality. I think.
You think for that.
Did I answer the question?
And then, Laura, I think you also busy.
Similar to Bob, I found a quote from Tulopa's Mahamudra teaching to Naropa,
Okay.
which says, "Is space anywhere supported? Upon what does it rest? Like space, Mahamudra is dependent upon nothing. Relax and settle in the continuum of unalloyed purity, and your bonds listening release is certain." So, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
it
something
doesn't
like
say
that.
it's the heart of the teachings, but it says it leads to liberation.
Okay. You have some Moscow?
I only have number 3 and 4.
Okay, this is good. This is good, you know. This is also one purpose to read some other books, more understand, you know. Okay, then second, it's good. This is also the like in such a tradition. There's a there's a hard teaching. What's it? What's a hard teaching?
Heart of the teaching.
Heart of the teaching is the emptiness. The thing when it was the 동반이 세대 또바이나 다 때문에 이봉은 것도 또요 was.
So that's true, right? If you realize emptiness, then you have realized the heart of the teachings, right?
동반이 세대까지 가지 랑시지 맞잡아. 돈이 샤시 나전 대바 똑같은 가지 다 되어라요 맞아. 가지 다 죽은 일 문에도 또요. 일 문에도 또요 그랬어.
So because when you understand the emptiness, then you understand the actual mode of existence, or the reality, and the way things really exist.
오케이 다 동반이 또 별로 돼 나도 다도 말해 배겠다. 뭐 연하면 그랬어.
And so the wisdom and the mind understanding emptiness is the only antidote. So is the actual or real antidote, for abandoning or eliminating the self-grasping ignorance.
오케이. 그래서 나도 누가 찾아 땡에대 나한테 들어왔어.
So all the sufferings that we experience came from self-grasping ignorance.
Okay, second question.
What does emptiness's form mean? What is the meaning of emptiness's form?
쑥동보.
동반이 소소세.
동반이. Okay, do you got it? Form of the emptiness of form.
Well, the way that I see it is that in the emptiness there is the potential for different forms arising. So you can kind of it's like saying that within emptiness all these different forms arise. So I don't know if I'm making myself clear. So it's like right, it's the potential for all the different forms that can arise out of emptiness. That's how I kind of see it.
Okay, got a lot of it.
동반이래. 내는 뭐 소샤는 샤, 소모 소다면은 샤이스.
동반이에서 소담이 잘했어.
동반이 어때네?
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Any other?
From His Holiness' comment on the Heart Sutra.
I can see Mary almost falls in like this.
Emptiness does not imply non-existence. Emptiness implies the emptiness of intrinsic existence, which necessarily implies dependent origination.
Which is the commentary, which one?
It's Heart Sutra commentary for
Okay.
the essence of the art.
That's good, yeah. Okay. Jennifer?
I think it's an equivalency statement between emptiness and dependent origination. So like if you go back to form is empty, like you say form is empty due to being a dependent origination. So emptiness is form. It's emptiness has the meaning of dependent origination. It's equivalent.
Okay.
Yeah, also from the same thing that Mary Ann used, it said, form cannot be isolated from other phenomena. It is not fixed, but rather subject to change and causality. We are negating an intrinsic essence of form, which necessarily implies dependent origination.
Okay. Laura, you have something?
Also from the same source. Yeah, I just chose
That's good.
part of it. His Holiness says, because forms have no fixed isolated identity, we can say that emptiness is the basis of the existence of form. In fact, in some sense, we can even say that emptiness creates form. One can then understand the statement emptiness is form in terms of form being the manifestation or expression of emptiness, something that comes out of emptiness.
Okay. Okay, Bob, you have something?
I got exactly the same first sentence as Laura from His Holiness. But no, I like the part where he said emptiness is the basis for the existence of form.
가로 동반인데 가르서.
동반이다 속 유학이 일단은 심하게 그 동반이었어요.
와.
I had another quote.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone found this one, but it's His Holiness also says in the same book that he talks about emptiness only being existing in relationship to a particular thing or phenomena. It's not a thing in itself. It only exists when there is a thing to be empty of nature. So emptiness is not he says emptiness is not a core reality. It can only be conceived in relation to individual things and events. It does not exist separately in any particular phenomenon. When the phenomenon ceases to exist, the emptiness of that phenomenon will also cease to exist.
가르서.
동시 최저면은 동반이 없어요 말했어.
Yeah.
동반이 하나 나가서요 말했어. 동반이 용서 되는 동시 최저는 되는 거였어.
Yeah, that's correct. 도시 취지 여와인자 아니 대택 돈이 생각도 잘 걸어왔어. 내가 도바지였어. 진짜 룰에 다 룰에 땡 돈이. 룰에 때문에 돈 요래서 다가 도와줘야
So because there is the basis of the emptiness, right? So because there's the basis, of which you can say, oh, it's the emptiness of such and such. So if it's empty, then emptiness of what? So you have to say, right? So, so you have to be able to point, to the, the basis, right? On which you can have the emptiness. So what about the horns and rabbit's head?
Non-existent.
Can you have the emptiness of the horn of rabbit's head?
No.
Yeah, Martha.
Well, it's a concept, so in that sense it is as a sort of existence as a false concept.
Yeah, okay. This is good. 다
그리고
주로
그리고 란지요레스.
그리고 란지인자 그리고 란지 대대마트 동아리 걸어. 대대마트 동아리 왔어.
So there is the concept of the grasping at the rabbit's horn, right? Grasping at the horn on rabbit's head, and so there can be emptiness of that.
No.
Huh? But there is. This is existent, right?
It's not existent.
No, the grasping at the horn of rabbit's head. Horn on rabbit's head. There is that, right? So that's empty, right? There's the emptiness of that, right?
대대마트 동아리 왔어. 대열대. 란도 배열대.
So the grasping, right? So the object that you're grasping at, the object that you're grasping at, that object, is it empty of existence from its one side? The object.
The object doesn't exist.
Okay, that's good. 가리는 저도 근데 나오면 저도 여보 고소 라서.
So you understand better from the commentaries from His Holiness?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay? Then third question.
Okay, the third question was, why is dependent origination called the king of reasonings?
Yes.
Because all other reasonings, such as all other reasonings like the diamond splinters and the sevenfold analysis, can be traced to dependent origination. It includes all the other types of ultimate logic.
Where you find?
Where did I find that?
You
I
just
found
lost.
that in Jeffrey Hopkins' book.
Good. Any others?
I found dependent rising is the king of reasons because it not only refutes inherent existence, but it also establishes conventional nominal existence.
Okay. Yes.
Because it leads to emptiness?
The Tomuni Tochigo, teaching
The Chubuina. Repeat about Tenley, they said, repeat Ripamatonga.
So there are many other logics, right? Logics you can use, to establish the emptiness. Among all these reasonings, this is the most powerful one, therefore it's called the king of the reasonings.
Okay. You guys good. Okay, we have last one.
Why is it called the peerless reason?
What's the best reason to realize emptiness? What is the best reason to realize emptiness? The peerless reason to ascertain from verse 9. What is the best reason to realize emptiness?
Okay. What are
Dependent arising.
Emptiness.
Huh?
No, the question was,
The question is then,
the question is,
What is the best reason to realize?
yeah, you have to explain,
Reason here meaning purpose.
sort of probably.
oh, I think
Logic.
logic? What's best logic?
Peerless.
Peerless reason.
The peerless reason to ascertain from verse
You
9.
could also interpret it like, why should you realize it?
why bother?
Why bother?
Yeah, well, what is the best reason to realize emptiness? Yeah. Because it,
I have a quote that fits
Makes you not grasp.
it, you know,
Makes you not grasp on the things.
it refutes the extremes.
Shantideva has the answer. His first verse. So I thought that was the answer to another question, which is, after thinking it isn't. It says that he.
Really? You eyes like that, dude?
It's really bad tonight.
Oh, you ask it to Jennifer, she could read.
Yeah.
You ask it
No,
to
let me find it on hang on. I'll find it in my book. Because I'm just.
which chapter?
It's Shantideva. It's the first verse of the seventh of the.
Yeah. We got it, yeah.
It says.
Yelandı da tamşın tüy şaraptın da sons.
Oh wait.
All these branches.
All these branches.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
powerful expanded for the sake of wisdom.
Yeah, that's good.
Therefore, they must generate this wisdom who wish to have an end of suffering. So I thought that.
근데 yelandı da kare, yelandı da tamşın kare.
All these branches? What branches?
Well, my understanding is that all the branches of the Dharma, everything the Buddha teach is in the Dharma, is for us.
딩스 나티 레가 딩은 레가 와 레가 셴바 술라.
The branches here may referring to the other chapters,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
the previous chapters, all taught, to understand the last, the wisdom chapter.
Okay. That's good. Thank you. I think you got good. Now next one's class. 아니 땅다다나 가려고 그랬어. 엄마랑 단줄래라. 제대로나 가려고 그랬어.
Ranjuba.
단줄래라.
So according to the Prasangika Madhyamika school, what is the meaning of extreme of nihilism, and what is the meaning of extreme of eternalism?
Okay. 아니 땅다도 친다는 내 등에도 술에서. 길랭에도 단줄래라. 따와이나 순에 그랬어.
So according to Prasangika Madhyamika school, who are abiding, in that extreme?
Is that the second question?
Yeah.
Who are abiding in that extreme, in those extremes?
Okay. 아니 덴바 트바 인데 진데 임베 시대 길랭에도 술에서. 덴바 트바 임베 진세라 진데 바 talking에도 술에서.
So who says things exist truly?
Because it's cause condition. It depends on cause condition.
Okay?
Okay?
Yeah, can you say that again?
Say that again.
Who says
Yes.
it exists truly? Because depends cause condition. Who said that? Who believe that? Which school believe?
Because it depends on cause and condition, and therefore it exists truly. Who says that?
Okay? Just from there, okay? How many you done? I think 3 is good, yeah. You have to more research that. Okay, yeah, this is very difficult. If you complicate also, you go to the all different schools, you mix together.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, It's good for you study tenets. Then you believe, okay, this first tenet believe that. The second tenet, third tenet, then you were more stable. We didn't study that. Then we say, okay, what this, something. But you read some more books, okay? Yes.
Must every answer be sourced by a text, or can we just use logic for something?
I want to source for text and logic both. Just source is too easy. You can say something. I want to more source, you can read more books, then you can learn more things. Okay? Then stop that. Thank you. Otherwise you guys hair become more flat.
Sashi Bhagi Jugshi Mesho Amri Rablingshi Nidegen Padi Sangye Jingdu Big Or Hiro Kunamda Jingwa Churashu Jesu Lame Kusherate Chingna Kartrimle Chokchurgyen Padam Losang Tenley Gyume Satsum Iru Wemusel Talk to Negurchi Idam Guratamandala Familiatim. From my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom I has blessed. Even if I do not reach the state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life's minutes. May I find the best and complete greater path of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhists by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path as I have discerned them, may I uphold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever directions precious teachings have not yet spread, or when spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness in me. May the minds of those who wish for liberation to be granted boundless peace be for a long time. By even this greater course of enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths in any of their lives with the purest path praised by the Buddha. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In the snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Reizei remain in life till samsara's end. Page 49. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading wondrous victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And page 57. Through this Geshe.
Be very quick. Thank you so much, Geshe. Thank you, Damcho. On Friday night, 7 p.m., Professor Robert Thurman will be here to talk about, oh, I can't remember anymore. I know the Saturday talk is about anger, and I can't remember. There you go. That's Friday night. And so he'll talk Friday evening 7 to 9, and then Saturday from 10 to 12, and then Saturday evening we've got our gala event. So if you don't have tickets yet, please buy. If you have any questions about it, please stop me. There's some flyers. Then please save the dates for in June. We've got the Galan Tripa here, and then in August, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and in September, the other Lama whose name I will memorize shortly, and then we've got Chadro. Yes. Oh, lovely. And I read about him, and then I promptly forgot. Nothing is sticking. And then, and then in May 19th, we've got Sakadawa, so please keep an eye out for that. And that's it. So thank you so much again, Geshe. Thank you, Damcho.